Good afternoon, Bobcats. As a part of our homecoming week walking tour, I'm just showing you our sample wall here of some of our brick colors. I'm going to bring the camera up a little bit so you can see the block behind it, so you get an idea. I know you're seeing from the road, you're most likely seeing more of the block. But down here you can see where we have two colors of gray. We went with the gray combination to be able to complement the green metal that will be on the building as well. So now you can see a little idea of what the exterior brick will look like on the new school. Bobcats, I'm here at what will be the main entrance of our build site. You can see in the distance that we have some of our very highly skilled workers here who are hard at it. You can see the crane moving in the background, bringing up most likely a steel beam. But this will be the main entrance where we have some a canopy for people who are entering and come in this way. I'm going to walk and try to just stay on some rough terrain here. To start to come in, and you can see to my left here is what will be section A, the admin building, or the admin pod I should say. Everything here, even though you're going to see that a lot of things are still not under roof, all of this eventually will be under roof. It will be the last thing. This middle section D will be the last to have a roof on it because they are using it for access for large equipment to come in and do some of the detailed work here. As you can see to my left, we have our admin wing, the main entrance here, and this is where we'll come in as visitors. And this is also the entrance for students who would be dropped off by their parents or guardians. The bus entrance will be separate. Okay, Bobcats, I've walked on up through the main entrance and I'm coming in as if I was buzzed in from the outside. There'll be a dual buzzer system to get into the main office area. Where I am now is the admin wing inside. This area where I'm standing is the reception area. And you can see the divisions of rooms here. As I walk through, I know you're mostly just seeing a lot of vertical beams here, but as I come back through, you can see that we have office areas. Here's an opening here to an office area. We have some storage. Our admin wing here is across what is the front of the building. Kind of coming through this access hall. We have our interior storage and counselor areas here. Our office is back in this direction. Restroom area. Come back out here. I don't want to go too fast, but so I want you to get a sense of where we are. Now I'm making my way back out again to the reception area. There is an opening. I'm going to kind of sneak through here. There is some water standing in the main opening there, so I'm going to sneak through between the beams. We have our access, another access back into the main building. And on the other side of this wall, we have our nurses station, health services wing. It's a nice big space here to make sure that we can serve all of our kiddos' health needs. I'm gonna come up toward this door and then turn back around so that you're looking inside the admin wing. I'm gonna give you a look up in the ceiling. This is under roof at this point, with our temporary lighting in place. We have two of our finest just walked in doing some work, checking things out. And you can see our board member Tammy Niemer in the distance along with Tim Riffle from SHP, one of our architects. And this is just kind of a summary of our admin wing. Okay everybody, I'm coming out of the admin area now. We have some concrete that's been down. Now, the last time that I did a personal walkthrough was just a week or so ago, and this concrete was not here. It looks wet, but it is walkable. So I'm gonna go from this area where I'm walking out of admin A over into the pod to the left of that. This is the elementary wing, grades 1 through 3. Now, the last time I did a walking tour, I don't think these rooms were quite as divided off as they are now. Every classroom has its own sort of space now. They've all been kind of blocked off. As I'm walking on through, I'm just giving you kind of an overview. One thing that we're really proud of in the design is this big open space in between the classroom areas. I don't know that my camera will give you a really good sense of that. I'm going to come across and you'll see Tim and Tammy again talking. But as I come back around, I'm going to focus in on this open space here. We kind of refer to this as the ELC, or Extended Learning Commons. This area will be full of student seating and shelving for books, areas for students to either work more traditionally in their classrooms or come out together and work on project-based learning out here in this main area. It's just a really cool space, and this is duplicated in every pod. So this is a really, we're proud of this area here. Now you can see the beginnings of the stairs. There'll be a little reading nook underneath there for some special places for kiddos to have some quiet time if they need it. I want to give you, I'm just going to kind of stand back here and swing my phone around so that you can see this area in elementary A 1 through 3. It's incredible how much progress has happened just since the last time I did one of these tours. And I usually come over and I will give you a little update on where the beams are that the kiddos signed. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit. I'm still in A, elementary. I know you won't be able to see a lot of the detail, but as you can see, the beam that the student signed is embedded up here in this area. It's a really cool little reminder that we had last year's students signing and kind of documenting where they are and welcoming everybody into the new building with their signatures here. Okay, Bobcats, I've made my way to the end of area A 1 through 3. Just to give you some perspective, I'm looking out the door here and you can see our current high school, so you know where I am here in this building. And I just wanted to show you, this is the upstairs area. Of course, there's some stairs that have been started here. This will be an area where kiddos can go up to the next floor, which is more like middle school. And underneath these stair rails, kind of tucked back in here, we'll have a little reading nook in here with some benches and some soft seating and a great place for kids to have a little bit of quiet time and read a book, visit with their friends, or do some little projects. Right along with, of course, as I span back around, the open area of what we call the ELCs, the Extended Learning Commons. Okay, I'll go ahead and close this out now and I'll pick back up when I go to the next section. Hey Bobcats, I'm walking out of the elementary wing, which is grades 1 through 3, stepping right out into the common area. This bank of spaces right here that I'm walking up to, this is these are some restroom areas here that go back behind the walls that you're seeing here. And then there's some other utility and maintenance areas here in the middle. I'm going to swing back around to the wall that's the outside of area A, elementary, and you can see where there's going to be a mezzanine that starts here. You can see the notch outs, like there's one that's an opening. They come around. I'm just kind of walking back toward the gym, and all of those notched out areas that you see will be the mezzanine that goes across to connect areas A, the upstairs of A, over to across area B, which is the gym that we're coming up on now, to area C, which is the high school across the way there. And then of course I'll get up a little bit closer for you. But here we have some additional concrete has been poured in since the last time I was here, which was just a week ago. They've been working on putting in the expansion or stress joints here. The areas in the floor that you see that are notched out, those are the columns, the support columns that go up to brace or support the mezzanine. Turn around behind me, and this is just an exit door right here. The area that comes outside will be just seated with grass. That area is intended to be an outdoor classroom at some point. Our budget does not allow for us to have a lot of furniture or open area out here yet, but that of course is in our plan to hopefully build as we go, outside anyway, to create a really nice outdoor classroom space, kind of where you see out there where the dirt and ruts are here. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to swing back around and you can see the doors of the gym. I will stop right here and then I'll pick up once I get in the gym. Okay, Bobcats, I'm walking here inside the gym. I'm always afraid that the gym is a little bit underwhelming when I do this because the lights are not, they're just temporary lights, so it's not really lit up nice and bright like you would expect a gymnasium to be. And I don't know that my camera work will give you a real solid understanding of just how big this space is. But as I walked into the gym space from the main part of the school, on the left, these will be our visitor bleachers on this side. In the distance, you can see the doors that go back into the training area and locker rooms. To my right, this will be the home side. So we'll have bleachers on both sides. I really truly believe that once you see this space with the modern lights, with the beautiful gym floor that's coming, with the bleachers, with the painted areas, with the Bobcat mascots and the sports banners, I think you're just going to really be pleased with this space. It's really, I think it's really going to be something special. Right now, it's just a shell, so you have to use your imagination. And it's a little different, of course, because you don't have, like the current high school, you have the stage in the background. The floor space in here is actually larger than the floor space in the current gym. And we have slightly more seating in this gym than we will in the other one, because in here we have bleachers on both sides, obviously. But as I move through this space, I'm coming back to the back of the gym and walking back into what will be the training and office space for our athletic department, for some coaches, and for our PE teacher. This space right on the outside wall of the gym, like I said, this is our training room for kiddos who need their ankles taped or need to get checked by the trainer. Plus there are some offices in here as well. I'm going to come back through this next set of doors. This is our student locker room area. I'm actually standing on the girls' side now. I'm going to swing back around, and on the other side, of course, there's some storage there, but the boys' side will be across the way. And when I do these tours, I usually step out just so you can get an idea of how close we are to the stadium. I'm here at the back doors of the locker room area, and you can see the visitor side bleachers right here, of course, along with some other supplies and things too. You can also see where the throwing areas have been finalized in the distance for shot and disc for track. So it is a really relatively close distance here to the stadium. But where you see the dirt between where I'm standing and over where the kind of the used block and the storage area and the visitor bleachers are, that has been a utility path back through there, but it will of course be asphalted in and paved for buses and for additional parking to come through the back part of this area. Okay guys, I'm going to swing back into the locker room area and I'll pick back up as I go around back out into the main commons and get ready to show you the high school. Okay Bobcats, I'm walking out of the gym area on the home side back out into the commons area. You can see that there's a lot more concrete, as I said before, that's been finished and worked on. I'm going to make my way to my left here. This is the elevator shaft. I think the last time I might have done a video tour, I think it was just really kind of a hole in the ground. And now you can see that it's been built up to the second floor. Those notches that you see that are kind of cut out in the block, that's where the mezzanine braces will connect, because we will have that mezzanine walkway that goes from the elevator top over to the gym wall. So it'll be a nice walking space to connect the pods or areas. And I'm going to make my way over here to the high school wing. This is area C. Now, what I'm pointing at right now, this is the main entrance to area C. You can see Mr. Tim from SHP there in the distance going upstairs to check things out. But that's our main entrance. Now here to the right, these are some storefront windows and doors. Just on the other side of that, we will have our school spirit store. We'll have a big Bobcat mascot logo up above it, the Bobcat face. And down here we'll have just a little school spirit store for kiddos to get Bobcat clothing or gear, and then also just some basic supplies if they need to. So that'll be a pretty cool addition. I'm gonna walk in here into the high school area. To my left, you can see where they're really getting some of these restroom areas finished out. The individual and group restrooms. I believe since the last time I was in here, now we have all the roofing on, or at least the ceiling area of this area. The second floor does not have a roof on yet on this area C, high school, but that is forthcoming pretty soon. Just gonna swing around so you can get an idea of the magnitude of the space. Similar to what I showed you on the elementary wing back on elementary A. Now that already had all of the dividers in to separate the classrooms out. This is the high school wing, and that is the next process that will start here. But you can kind of see how those steel beams that go from floor to ceiling, those are marking off the classroom areas on to my right or toward the front of Gallia Pike. And then of course on this side as well, facing back toward the stadium, this divides out the classrooms. The space that I'm standing in, once again, is what we're calling the ELC, or the Extended Learning Commons, where we will have some kind of cafe type seating out here with charging stations and some areas for students to do project-based learning as groups. They can have some individual working space out here. It's really a multi-use, multifunctional space within each pod. So we're really proud to have this as kind of what's considered to be a 21st century learning atmosphere, where students can work more traditionally in their classrooms, independently with a teacher, or in small groups in classrooms, or come out here into the Extended Learning Commons and have larger groups or pods that are working. So it's a cool way for us to be able to deliver instruction to kiddos in a multitude of ways to best maximize their learning. Okay, I'm going to turn this off now, and I'm going to go back out into the Learning Commons. I'm just swinging back around so you can see there are those storefront windows, the opposite side from what I showed you earlier, and then the main exit from the high school area back into the Commons area in Area D. I'm going to turn this off, and I will pick it up when I get back out there. Okay, I've exited Area C, the high school wing, and I'm back out inside the Commons area. Where I am now, you can see where this will be cafeteria dining. We'll have a variety of different kind of tables with independent chairs. Nothing that's like our current high school cafeteria where we have tables and connected chairs. Those are really not particularly comfortable for older students. So we will have a variety of tables here and chairs as well. They can serve multi-purpose uses. During the everyday, kind of day-to-day operations, we'll have, of course, some different kinds of seating for students and their dining time. But when we have a performance or an event that's going on the stage, kind of there in the distance, you can see the steps leading up to that stage area. We can repurpose all of those independent chairs into kind of an arch around the stage so people can have a good view of what's going on, the performance there. And we can seat about 280 people pretty comfortably in this area for a performance. So you can kind of get an idea of how large this space is. I'm not sure it's easy. I'm not sure you can really appreciate it until you're actually standing in it, but it's a really substantial space. And I'm going to swing back around here, back to the kitchen area that I know I've shared with you before, but you can tell that there's been a lot of work that's gone on to kind of enclose inside here. This is not as easily accessible as it was before, but you can see where this is blocked off more for our cooks to have some restroom spaces and some little meeting areas, the cafeteria manager office to be off to the side. Plus we have all of our serving areas back in here, and a really expansive kitchen area with some modern upgraded appliances to help provide a good variety of meals for our kiddos. Okay, now we're back out into the Commons area. Because this next hallway is so close, I'm just going to walk over and try not to trip on the rough surface here. But this next space just to the right of the cafeteria kitchen area, this is a service hallway where we can accept deliveries for the cafeteria as they deliver, of course, the products. We have our stage entrance right here. This side has a stairway entrance. The other side of the stage has a ramp entrance, so of course we can accommodate everyone. I'm going to go back into the band area here in a minute, but we have some band storage and the band room back in there. I will come back here, but for now I'm just going to walk back through the service hallway. You can see where there's kitchen access through this hallway. We have some storage and mechanical areas back in here so that we can have kind of all the guts of the building in here. This is our main electrical and kind of guts of the building area right in here. Delivery space and storage. This is some dry storage area back in here and more mechanical space. The outside exit or service door. This is dual purpose. If I didn't say it earlier, this is for cafeteria deliveries, kitchen supplies. It's also an easy access for our students who are in the band. So we can pull up the trailer or bus right here, and for some of those larger instruments, it'll be an easier way for them to get those packed up and get ready for their next performance. Okay, I'm going to swing back around so that you can see I'm going back through the service corridor back toward the commons area. I'm not going to go all the way back out into the commons area though. I'm going to turn here into the stage area, go up the steps onto the stage, and I'm going to kind of stand in the corner and try to zoom out a little so you can get a better idea of how large this space is. This will be a great performance area. It can also serve as an additional classroom as well. I'm going to walk up and show you what I mean by that. Now on the stage, we're going to have a beautiful stage curtain, of course, to be kind of visually stunning from the commons area. But here you can see that little tucked in area I'm pointing at. And then on the other side of the stage, there's a matching one over here. There are commercial grade, of course, acoustical grade partitions that can close this area off and create another classroom if necessary. Now we believe that it will probably be mostly used for our music program, but it can be used for anything, quite honestly. So this can be additional teaching space in here. Once those partitions are closed, it is really like an acoustical wall that goes up. But back into the band area here, this is another offset of the stage. This space in here can also be used as a band room for students. I'm trying to kind of get in the corner and give you an idea. I'm not sure you can get, like I said, a good sense of scale maybe from this. And that is cardboard there on the ground. It almost looks like an animal of some kind, but that's just cardboard. I'm walking across this back band classroom area, coming out the other side by the stairway that I just came in. There's also a storage area when I come back out. This is the band storage area here, so we do have room for band uniforms and different things to be able to make sure that program has plenty of storage. Now as I walk out here, there actually is a dog walking through the main area here. I will be shooing that critter off here in a minute in a very kind, humane way, but it doesn't need to be in here. Okay, I'm coming across the stage, and I'm going to come around and go down the ramp. And once again, this is great for just any kind of access for anyone who may need the ramp instead of using the stairs. It's also good to get equipment up and down pretty easily because we can roll it in. Now as I come down here, you can see that I've got some scaffolding. I'm going to turn off the camera now, kind of make my way through that and pick back up going into area E. Okay, Bobcats, once again, I've made my way off of the stage area and I've turned the corner into what is going to be Area E. What is Area E? For preschool and kindergarten classrooms, it's also our storm shelter area. Now, as I go back in here, I feel certain you're going to notice some different level of construction that's in here. It's a little bit darker. Of course, there is temporary lighting, but it's not on right now. But when it's all said and done, it'll be a beautiful space. But as you come in, you're going to see a preschool classroom. Each of the classrooms in Area E have their own restroom space. So they do not have a large common restroom area. It is contained in the classrooms. That's the first classroom. I'm coming into kind of this service hallway or entrance hallway. And as I come in, this area is a kinesthetic room, it's called. It's also kind of like the mini extended learning commons area for Area E, preschool and kindergarten. So this is their expanded space, which will have some furniture in it and some different things to make this a comfortable group space for them. And you can see here's classroom number 2, on down number 3, and then in the far end there's number 4. This area is all block construction. You can see the steel beams across the top. There is rebar up in there like spider webs, and there will be at least 8 inches of concrete on the top to serve as kind of the roof for this. This area, as you've probably heard me say before, this area is a fortress. This extended learning commons area, or ELC, that I'm standing in now, like I said, for a day-to-day use, is for our preschool and kindergarten students to have some group space so they can come out, either have a maybe inside recess, or they can have some bigger activities out here, do story time, have some bookshelves, and have some really cool areas out here to have a different kind of instruction. But this space is also what makes it possible to be the storm shelter in terms of being able to get the entire population of this building into this one area should we need it. Now, we hope we never need it, of course, but it is here, and I can't say it often enough. It's just it's a pretty special space. Now, the doors and the windows in this area, this includes the ELC space I'm in now, plus the windows and doors that are in each of the classrooms. They are fortified with storm grade shutters, so that should there be an emergency and we need to close off this space, the windows are not vulnerable either. It wouldn't make a lot of sense to have all of this amazing construction and then have weak points in just typical windows. So there are storm shutters that are there that can be closed off and fortify the classrooms. This space also has its own independent water, ventilation, electric, and sewer services. So even if the rest of the building somehow became shut down or unusable, this area is completely independent and can be completely self-sufficient. This is just one of the major safety upgrades that we're going to have in this building. I'll be anxious to share some of the more comprehensive ones with you as the finish work goes into the building, but this is one that's so obvious right now through its construction. I'm pleased to share it with you. Okay, I'm gonna make my way back out of Area E, back out into the Commons area, and we'll kind of close out our tour. Bobcats, once again, I've made my way out into the area that will be kind of the opening of the building, what will be the foyer looking into Area D, the common space. I love this view. It's one of my favorite views, to look back through here and see all the amazing classrooms and various kinds of spaces that we can have as flexible learning areas for kids, a place that this entire community can be proud of. And I'm thrilled to bring you this overview once again on homecoming weekend to see all of the work that's happened in the last year. As this video is posted, we're also going to post last year's homecoming walkthrough video, and I think you'll find that what a difference a year makes. Everyone, don't forget that we host Sims Valley tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with homecoming ceremonies beginning at 6:30. We are at home, obviously, for homecoming, so we hope to see you out there to root on our 5-0 Bobcats. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye.